What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Blab. I appreciate you guys stopping by. And without further ado, let's blab. So yes, I had to do it to him. An entire video on the Blooming Waters Premium Collection. I've been seeing a lot of chatter for this in the Pokemon streets. A lot of people stacking this box up. A lot of people being told you need to stack this box up and just doing what their big homie tells them to do. It is very, very funny. The people that come first to market with these concepts and ideas do very well. They get this box for retail, $70, $80, $100, and then they pass it off to their audience and tell them that this is the only move that can be made. Well, they don't tell them that, but that's how it's interpreted. You can see it in the comments. You can see it in the low rent YouTubers starting to stack their boxes up. So I find it very interesting, and I kind of just wanted to have a stream of consciousness about this product because I don't love this product, but I also don't hate this product. So I'm going to be talking about some of my thoughts, some of the things I've seen in comment sections, some of the pros, some of the cons, and let me know in the comments, am I absolutely insane for not stacking this up? And just we'll see what happens. So the first thing I'd like to talk about with this box is obviously people are buying this box for the 151 packs, and that is it, right? Because I know a time where nobody even wanted an ETB, right? Nobody wanted an ETB 12 months ago. Nobody even wanted Pokemon Center ETBs like 6 or 8 months ago. And then they all sell out. And Pokemon Center ETBs are the number one thing. Is it possible that collection boxes end up being the number one thing in 6 or 8 months? I guess technically it's possible. However, the only way I really see that happening is with collection boxes that are held up significantly by fantastic promos. If you look at something like the Shrouded Fable Kingdra box or the Shrouded Fable Greninja box, Shrouded Fable, not a fan favorite set, but those boxes are doing very well because of promo cards. This box has trash promo cards, absolutely garbage, reprint, just enlarged Blastoise EX card. It's horrible. Okay, so definitely trash promos. There's nothing to really argue about that other than the fact that people are buying this knowing that and just getting, the packs at the best cost they possibly can. Another thing, I personally like 151, but I find it very concerning and interesting that 151 everybody knows is kind of printed to the ground, but that doesn't matter. And it's the same people that saying 151 being printed to the ground doesn't matter and you need to stack this box up. They're the same ones saying that prismatic being printed to the ground is a big problem and yada yada. The set value this, the set value that. I mean, the terrible Umbreon card, just that card, raw value, is what, the same or double the price of the entire set of 151? So, I mean, I guess you could argue 151 cards will go up in time and that you're going to sell this off, in 20, 30 years to a rip and shipper and that these packs are going to be worth a significant amount of money. I don't necessarily see, I don't know how 151 is going to pace. I'm not going to say it's going to not pace or it's going to outpace or it's not. I don't know what's going to happen with a Prismatic Evolutions, right? Because the Prismatic Evolutions has a God Pack and people love to gamble. So this idea that a whatnot streamer is just going to buy, 100 Blooming Waters boxes and that would necessarily be a better investment than, putting that same amount of capital into Prismatic, I don't really know. And then as someone that doesn't really like Prismatic, when I begin comparing 151 capital to long-term capital on Prismatic, then it's how much do I really like the 151 product? I do get that sealed product goes up over time. However, if we're talking about the sealed nature of it, this is maybe the worst sealed product out of 151, right? If all of the pack prices being equal, I'd rather have the PC ETB, I'd rather have the regular ETB, I'd rather have a booster bundle, I'd rather have the binder collection, I'd rather have the 151 Ultra Premium collection. Did I say booster bundles yet? The Alakazam box, I like even is a better eye appeal, is smaller. So this is literally the worst 151 investment, and that is why the pack price is probably the lowest. I didn't check it against everything right now, but I believe it's probably the lowest. Another concern, if you put any amount of money into this over the last 6 or 7 months, you really haven't moved much. I get it. It's long term. You're going to pass it down to your kids. You're going to pass it down to your grandkids, and then, it's going to be in your lineage forever. Blah 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 blah. But if you bought pretty much anything else sealed in the Pokemon market in the last 6 or 8 months, you're up. Like you're up more than. Yeah, let's just do the 6 month. All right, you're up more than 8% on a lot of items. So I get it. It's a long term play. You're never selling. You don't know how to sell. You just do what Big Homie tells you to do. I get that. But, well, actually, you do what Big Homie tells you to do, and then you end up having to sell that product because you got in too late. Okay, well, you know who you are. Yeah, I mean, yeah, at long term, 151, sure, I get it, I guess, but it hasn't moved in 6 months. Everything's moved in the last 6 months. So how is 151? I don't know. I don't get it. I love 151. The set value is low though. This is one of the worst 151 products. Are we gonna break it down and put it in acrylic boxes? That's absolute goofy move. Also, I think I've like kind of hated on the idea of like, oh, you can't just you can stack this up and put it in a corner of a room, and like the size doesn't really matter. But then there's also the dude paying 10x what I pay in rent, and he lives in a shoebox in New York. Like if he wants to collect something like this, that's going to be a problem, right? So it's just another thing against it, right? We have the size of the box, we have the promos, we have the set value, we have all of these things. Can Gen 1 overcome all of that? Probably. So everything I just said are all of the cons. Do I think it's still not a bad buy today? I mean, I probably wouldn't buy it for $150 shipped, tax shipping. I still think getting it around that $100 mark would be good. Go to your LGS store. Maybe they have it for 120. Ask them if you can get it for $100 if you buy 3 of them, 5 of them, whatever. There's still moves to be made. I mean, buying stuff like this, especially a huge box like this on TCG Player, and trusting someone to ship this kind of box out to you without getting dents and things like that is diabolical. It's one of those things that even like getting a good picture on eBay is not necessarily like gonna be good for you because it's just such a difficult item to ship. Again, that's also a downside when you have to sell it. I mean, it's not that hard to ship things, but some of the people I've met in this hobby are so dumb that like they may have never been inside of a post office before, or like I don't know. So that's another downside is that it's hard to ship. I don't know. Again, kind of rambling, kind of blabbing, stream of consciousness. If you're offended by this, like if the boot fits, wear it. If the shoe fits, wear it. Whatever the saying is, like I don't know. I don't know. I'm not buying this for $150 right now. I'm not. I'm probably buying even more modern stuff, like Phantasmal Flames pre-orders, and I mean Pokemon Center pre-orders, which should come out in the next couple of days. I'm not pre-ordering from some random store, but I'd be putting in other things. Like I don't know. When this was out, I was, are you buying this or are you buying Obsidian Flames booster box, or not booster box, ETB. Like those were kind of things swirling in my head over the last couple months, right? I already have kind of a significant position in one, so thinking about maybe getting this box, but then there's just all of these downsides, and like the only thing that outweighs all the downsides is the concept of it's 151, and I kind of get it. I don't know. To not keep rambling, I'm just gonna end the video there. But yeah, pros and cons. Let me know what you guys think. Is this the only box you can buy right now? Is this the only box that's going to make a play? I mean, I could see it blasting off, in Q1 of 2026 and just being a $200 box before we all know it. Then it goes to three, and then then we're in the middle of the mega era, and it goes out of print. I get it. I get it. There's upsides to it, but there's also a lot of downsides to it. So let me know what you guys think. Tell me how absolutely goofed up I am in the comments. Appreciate that. I always appreciate the engagement from the Goofy Gang. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video.